It's me, Crystal Star from the Starlight Work Circle, back again, and in this video we are looking at the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing again. I don't know where this is going. I've got loads of questions and I'm going to be looking at some brilliant questions, so if you sent one in, thank you. I'm sorry I didn't get to them all in the last video. There were loads of questions, so I'm going to be finishing them off in this video. You'll know more about where we're going with this, like I always say, than me, because it'll be in the title. And when I get to the end of this video, I know what it will be about, but right now I don't. So let's get on and find out what this video is going to be about. Right, so I'm hoping that the technology holds out. But the first question, now I've had a lot of questions about these fluctuations in Johnny's personality, and I do just want to, I know we're going to be kind of rounding that up, but I did have a download about it I did want to share. We asked about this before, and that they did say that he'd had his mind altered, and I did have another question about were his memories real as well. Now, we got in the last one that they had altered his mind. Now, I automatically thought of the MK Ultra that they do. And then we got the answers were banned. And when that normally comes up in my private readings, it usually means there's protection around that person. It's just not for public consumption, if you like. But this time when I got the download, I was like, oh, they stopped me because I was on the wrong track. So if I keep asking the questions, we're just going to go further and further down the wrong track. The download that I got was there are different ways to interfere with people's awareness, consciousness, actions, and memories than just MK Ultra. Now, two of the ways I know is you know, and you must have heard of the Black Eyed Club. If you're watching this video about the truth, you probably know about the Black Eyed Club, which I understand, I've been led to believe is when certain types of reptilians can take over someone's body. What they do is they have a proboscis, apparently, that they project through one of the eyes, and the soul enters the host body through that. That's why they get a black eye. That, I understand, is a complete takeover of that body. Now, I don't know whether the original person's soul gets pushed out or whether they have to coexist. I don't know. I've never kind of looked into that. The other way, of course, is that another being can ride on the back of another being. What I know this from is from the stories of witchcraft. Witches could ask an animal if they could ride their consciousness with them. I've heard this happening in modern times as well. Ride their consciousness with them, and you'll kind of sit on the back of the animal's consciousness, so you could see what they're seeing and feel what they're feeling. Now, that's the polite way to do it, but there's an impolite way to do it as well, where you can just force your consciousness into another conscious being. And I did wonder whether that was it, which would explain kind of fluctuations in his personality, like I say, particularly if we got the off-worlders had helped to kind of rehabilitate him. The other way, of course, is through a control chip. Now, if you've done any kind of work on Atlantis, these were used quite regularly. So if you've done any past life regression and you found out you're from Atlantis, or removing vows, promises and control trips, that kind of work, you'll know what I'm talking about. But basically they just stick a chip in the back of your head and they can control you. I'm not sure exactly how it works. I think you can still be you, but every now and again they can just take over control, if you like, which I suppose is the same kind of thing. So I wondered whether it was one of those. I'm not going to go into it too deeply, because I know the person who asked the question said, oh, don't worry about it too much, but I did want to share that I did have that download. So I do want to ask that question. Is it one of these other methods that they used? I hope my camera holds out, because my second camera, the one I'm filming the cards on, I'm going to have to keep checking because the battery's just about to run out. I do have a spare battery, but that one's low as well. I've gone through 2 batteries today just on this. I don't believe it was the control chip, because we're getting kind of healing here. So I get that he's been kind of having healing, and it's a much more spiritual soul energy thing than mechanical thing. I get that this was resolved quite a while ago, so any fluctuations in his personality recently have been more just to do with him and what he's been going through and the work that he's been doing. And I get that it's been slow going, but he's been doing really well with this, whatever work that they've been doing with him. And awakening can look like that. You can get fluctuations in personality, and because, you know, it's kind of a leap forward and then kind of a step back, and a leap forward and a step back, and it can kind of take you like that. But whatever the issue was, it's certainly been resolved, which means I didn't think it was the black eye thing anyway, because I don't ever remember seeing him with that, other than when he was with Amber. I can't remember seeing him with black eye, and I don't know, maybe he did, I don't know. I never had that pointed out to me, but yeah, I don't think it was the black eye thing, but it please be assured it has or is being resolved. Yeah, he's moving forward with this. I don't think it was MK Ultra, because we're definitely getting that kind of spiritual thing and the turning around of it here. So yeah, I get that it wasn't a control chip. It was more of an someone kind of taking over, forcibly taking over his consciousness, like riding on the back of his consciousness, if you like. Now, related to this, we had a question about the was it 1989 to 1993 or something, and someone asked, is that when River Phoenix died? So I had to look into this, because I didn't have that information, but I did pull up some other information about that. Now, this is all around his, right, yes, so yes, it was. River Phoenix died on October the 31st, 1993, which is pretty odd, right, because of Halloween. And we all know the Black Hats like to use these ceremonial dates. And yes, it was, he died outside the Viper Club, which was owned or part owned, or Johnny was involved in the ownership somewhere. So, and I think, now I got that River Phoenix and Johnny Depp weren't friends, but they had friends in common, so they probably would have known vaguely maybe known each other. So we don't really know, do we? So it was clearly some kind of signal, the fact that it was on that day. He died of an overdose, which could have been staged, and obviously they wanted to take River Phoenix out. Maybe he wasn't complying, maybe he'd made a threat, maybe he talked to the White Hats. Obviously we're not sure. We can ask some questions about this, but I thought that was very, very interesting. Plus, when River Phoenix did die, Johnny Depp said the tabloids turned the Viper Room into something ugly. So I wonder whether this was, obviously they wanted to get rid of River Phoenix, but obviously this was some kind of attack on Johnny Depp too. Now obviously if this is when Johnny Depp's got out and then had to come back, it does seem to correlate, doesn't it? So thank you so much for that question. It really was very interesting to kind of look into that. Let's just take oh sorry, there was one more thing that came up as well. There was an interview about in 1993 interview. I couldn't get a date, sorry, I've lost which interview it was, but it was a 1993 interview with Johnny Depp, and he's talking about a director that he works with. I don't know which one. I'm pretty sure he says, but he says he's like two people. He's real extreme. One side's gentle and sweet, but you see the other side. The other side is always hovering. There's a real darkness to him. I would hate to make him really angry because it would be disastrous. You know, one of those guys who are just so nice, but if you press the wrong button or turn the wrong key, it's chaos, you know, murder. What? So I think he was kind of giving a hint then, wasn't he? Obviously it was a very tumultuous time for him with the white hats and the black hats. We've already looked at that. But let's just have a look around this Viper Club River Phoenix thing and see what we can get around this, shall we? I don't know if we can just, it will be too confusing because there are too many parts, but let's just ask. Well, yes, apparently so. We've hit the nail on the head here. He knew, we've worked it out, he knew, he had to keep his mouth shut. I'm being told here that yes, it was a shot across the bow for Johnny Depp, but obviously that they didn't just kill River Phoenix just for the hell of it. Obviously he got something going on as well, and I do get that feeling around this as well. He really didn't know what to do at this point. I think he'd already kind of gone and come back, and then kind of this kind of blew up. But he came to an, thank you, I've just been told this is about him coming to an agreement with the White Hats. So he always had that in his heart as he was moving forward. He had to do what he didn't want to do, but at the end of the day he knew that it was for a reason. And as agonisingly slow as it was, he knew at least it was going to culminate, it was going to end at some point, that he wasn't going to be in this forever. But I think definitely in terms of what happened to River Phoenix, I think we've absolutely got that spot on. We got to it, we've realised it, he realised it as well, but obviously he couldn't say. That interview, what he said was very, very telling, though. He was kind of saying it without saying it. He was kind of brushing it off, but he did say it, which I found was really very interesting at that point. Now, we do have some more questions. Right, so I did get the question, did the White Hats mess with his mind? And also, was his childhood real? We really want to be looking at those. Did the White Hats mess with his mind? Let's do a 7-card horseshoe here. I don't think they did. I don't believe that they would. Obviously, the his off-world family would have had to. Obviously, his off-world family would have had to step in to get him as back to Johnny Depp as possible. But actually, what I've just seen here is that yes, they actually did have to try and correct it. Not mess with his mind, but they did have to try and correct it, and turn that around somehow. Yeah, it was the White Hats. They did have to step in and try and help him out there a little bit. They helped him out in other ways as well, trying to get his strength back. He felt a lot stronger coming out of it. So he did, I don't want to call them a handler, he had a contact. He had a contact in the White Hats that he could go to for help, that helped him to sort that out, and he got that sorted out. So yeah, in a way they kind of did mess with his mind, but only to put it right, if you like. What was the other question? I can't even remember now. Oh, was it the childhood that he quoted in the trial, which was very interesting, because I've been assuming that that was all true, but obviously not necessarily. Was the memories that he was given in the trial, were they real? Whoop. I'm getting not lies. So well spotted. Absolutely 100% well spotted. They've made him believe stuff that wasn't true. They put false memories in. It could have been this thing with the projecting of the consciousness into his. Well, obviously it would have been if it wasn't MK Ultra. That's obviously where it would have happened. But we've got not seeing things right here, and he was really sad. He wants to talk about it, but he can't. He's really, really sad and distressed. But he really did believe it. Yes, they did. They did mess with his mind. They did give him false memories. Well spotted. Let's ask if his mother, I've just been assuming that was right, but because his sister was saying that as well, wasn't she? Let's have a look and see if it was true about what he said about his mother, because I don't think he lied on purpose. These are lies in answer to the question in the past. So yeah, they put false memories. Let's ask if more technical issues. On top of my second camera just about to run out of battery, the card was full, so it stopped recording. So you probably didn't see me laying all these cards down. And then the other camera went on. Anyway, technical issues, this always happens to me anyway. I was asking about his mother, and were the memories about his mother real? It looks very much to me that he had a very tumultuous childhood, he had a very tumultuous past. So I do believe that those memories were true. I believe some of his other memories were altered. They wanted him to believe that he'd done stuff that he'd not done, so they could kind of blackmail him into doing what they wanted him to do. I did love his mom. That was the obstacle. But yeah, I do get that the memories about the mother were real, were correct. So I don't get that those were altered. But I get that probably a lot of what he believes happened when he got to, you know, Hollywood work. Right, let's have another look. Have we got some more questions here? Of course we do. Now, why did Johnny Depp decide to televise the trial? Fantastic question. Why did Johnny Depp decide to televise the trial? And I lost my second camera there. Ran out of battery because of course I did. I'm not going to tell you when technical issues happen anymore. Just if something weird goes on, just assume it's another technical issue. I guess the energy is high if technology is having a problem, so we'll take that as a good sign. Right, so we were asking, why did Johnny Depp decide to televise the trial? I guess, and I'm guessing, the question really is about, was he prompted to do so? In which case I got a very strong yes then. Actually, I'm not getting the white hats in here at all. This was to do with justice. This was to do with justice. And this was to do with getting the truth out there. It was about Amber, because I always got her as a fire sign lady, remember? I'm not getting the white hats in here. They've just said to me the white hats were involved. He obviously would have had to run it past the white hats, and I'm not suggesting that they didn't suggest it, but I don't think it was put upon him to do that. I think when they came in and spoke to him about it, I think, yeah, there was an agreement made, but they just said this was about cleansing his soul. And it did work for him. I know certainly we've seen he looks a lot happier these days, doesn't he? But I believe from this, it was a personal choice. I don't believe that it was a white hat. I really don't believe they knew this was going to happen. I know Spirit knew, but I don't think they knew. So I think it was all about getting his justice. And from that, I do believe that he felt he got it. So I believe that. I believe that, absolutely. Did Amber Heard really have blackmail on Elon Musk? Did Amber Heard have blackmail on Elon Musk? Let's have a look. Now this is so fascinating. I just had to leap up and check both the cameras working, so I hope both of the cameras hold out for this. Yes and no. The blackmail she had on him was all about what he was doing in not only in the parties but also in the ceremonies, because obviously he was at the ceremonies. She had blackmail on him for that. However, it didn't work because the black hats wouldn't let her reveal it. Where could she have revealed it? She would have taken it to the newspapers. The newspapers wouldn't have published it because obviously they're ruled by black hats, which is absolutely hysterical, isn't it? She had blackmail on him, but she couldn't expose it, because it would expose what they were all up to. Now, what's this down? So she had to let go of it. She soon realised that she wasn't going to be able to use any of it. So she may have even had blackmail on other people in that kind of thing. But what's even funnier is the white hats appearing in the outcome. The white hats are down here in the outcome, which obviously caused them a lot of stress. I think the white hats got hold of this information because she would have tried to sell it if he wouldn't pay her, and more than likely if the black hats said he wouldn't have paid her because he knew it was useless. If that's the case, this is how the white hats got hold of it, because at some point they would have been infiltrating, I don't know why I couldn't say that word, the mainstream media. Wow. I was not expecting that at all. I thought we would have got through that question, yes or no. Thank you so much for that question. I really do appreciate that question. That was fascinating. So she did, but it backfired. That's hilarious. Now I did, actually, I forgot, I must have skipped it on there. I did want to have a look at these Amber Heard fans. Are they real, genuine Amber Heard fans, or are these all bots? Because, not bots, but you know how, like, scammers, they run a whole business. We've seen their businesses. They've got offices and employees to run these scams. So we know that if you can employ people to rip off and steal money from elderly people, you can pay people to be pretend Amber Heard fans. That's without question. So I want to know, and we'll just do 3 cards. I want to know, I'm not doubting there are Amber Heard fans. I'm not doubting that. We got that. Was it in the previous video? We got there are real genuine Amber Heard fans. But let's have a look. Let's see if we can get a read about these Amber Heard fans. They're giving me 30%. 30% of the Amber Heard fans are real. The rest are not. So if you're getting into arguments with Amber Heard fans, I would suggest don't. These are paid people, or is it bots they have? I don't know. I don't know how this works, but 30% are real. So if Amber Heard fans see this and start commenting, I'll just ignore them. I am not responding. Yeah. Don't get into a fight with them. They may be real. 30% are, they're saying. But even those 30%, they're saying some are starting to see the truth. Some are starting to see the truth about Amber Heard. So maybe argue with them. If you feel called to do so, I just generally tend to try not to let people bring me down. Yeah, I don't want to fall off this high flying vibe, so generally I just ignore. If someone's looking for a fight, just ignore. Been there, I'm not doing it again. They will come over. Well, they'll have to in the end when all this stuff starts coming out anyway. And it is coming out. And I just looked at that in my London Bridge has fallen down video. I did just look at that. They're not going to be able to deny the truth anymore. And obviously this is about a bigger thing here than the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing. So when all the truth comes out about what's been going on, and it will have to at some point in some kind of way, yeah, they'll probably have to face some of the truth about this. Now, I was going to have a quick look into the UK court case, and has that shifted any perspectives, but I'm not sure we've got time. I've got a question about Amber Heard's karma, because everybody, I think, is very interested in getting justice for Johnny. As far as I've seen, he feels he's got justice. That's what I've seen over and over and over again. He's quite happy with these results. Life's never going to be perfect, is it? It's never, you know, it's not a Hollywood film. He knows that better than anybody, and surely we all know it for being truthers. So I do want to ask, what is Amber Heard's, sorry, my guides have just whispered something funny to me. What is Amber Heard's karma? Let's not forget that is going to happen. Now they've said, ask the question, past, well, we're going to ask the past, present, future, when as well, because we may not see her karma. Now this is fascinating. I really do hope the technology holds out long enough to get this. Why have we here got the off-worlders in the past have come and turned things around, and she's not happy about it at all? If she's been involved with the, you know, black hats, which are reptilians, or at least controlled by reptilians, obviously not all of them are, controlled by those 16 families. Now this is an odd one. We've got in here a huge amount of happiness and a huge amount of sadness as well. Oh, I do get it. I got that she was on the run. I'm still sticking with that. That's what I got, and I'm sticking with that. She went on the run. That was not her at that trial at all. She had to go on the run from the white hats because she'd stuck to the black hat side, and obviously she'd had to make a run for it. Now, what I'm getting here is, obviously that made her quite sad. Yeah, she thought she was doing the right thing, and that made her quite sad because the black hats obviously weren't helping her. If she's no use to them, they're not going to help her, because that's the way it is. But that's the energy she creates. She uses people and manipulates people and tortures people. Let's face facts, it is torture. And if that's the energy she's putting out, that's the energy she's going to be getting back. Now, it's gone quite slowly for her, and that's been really frustrating for her. But down here, sorry, I've just run out of battery, I'll have to show you. Down here, we've got things absolutely falling apart and not seeing things properly, and everything changing. Now, I've got no more batteries. I don't want to stop this just to go and charge the batteries. Let's have a look at exactly where we are seeing this go to. Where exactly is she now, and what exactly is she up to? I'd love to ask if that photo of her dragging Eve Barlow down the hotel corridor was real or not. Because I saw a photo and I couldn't see her face, and I was like, yeah, why didn't they show the footage then? That's absolutely right. Why didn't they just show the CCTV footage? They've got her. The white hats have got her. This was in the past position. They've got her. She was slippery, but they got her. So they've got her. So she will be processed. She will be processed. They got her. It was somewhere sunny. Like I said, she was somewhere sunny. I think she's actually quite pleased that it's all over. I think things are getting quite tough for her. She must know what they're going to do to her. She must know. She must know what they're going to do to her. But that's what she did to other people and children, so there's nothing she can do. Absolutely nothing she can do. She's just trying to hold out as best she can. And there they are again, the white hats swooping in. I'm not seeing a huge amount of distress around this, which is quite surprising, but I think she knew it was coming. She knew it was coming. She saw it coming. She knew what was going to happen. She knew she couldn't hold out much longer. I'm going to try and ask just one last question. Was that really her dragging Eve Barlow down that hotel? I know I want it to be as well. I do want it to be as well. But let's have a look. Was it though? In reality, was it? Now these are quite vague. There's a lot of happiness in here, which wouldn't be, would it? Although to be fair, we've already got that this is Amber Heard loves doing this. This is her big thing. So and maybe it was justice for Eve Barlow. Maybe she's not so innocent. It doesn't seem as though she's so innocent. I'm not saying anybody deserves that. I'm just saying, and there's the grief. Looking back over things, there's a lot of grief about it. That would suggest to me it was true. But she saw the light and she couldn't handle it. So did someone say that she left after that? Or something? I get a feeling it's true, but then I want it to be true. Let me see if I can fit in this very last question, because there was one more question. I am going to see if I can squeeze in this. UK trial, because a lot of stuff has been coming out about this UK trial, hasn't there? And I just want to see whether this stuff is waking people up, because there was obviously a lot of corruption in this trial. We know that. I've said it before. I've said it a million times. They swapped the judge out. We know something dodgy is going on when they swap. As soon as they swap the judge out, they want to put one of theirs in because it's important to them. So let's see. Let's see. Because I get a lot of the whole thing about this is that, you know, since it became so popular, this trial, when it became so, everybody was watching it, everybody was so interested in it, and the white hats kind of jumped on it. That's certainly what I got. The white hats kind of jumped on it and kind of, yeah, we could really use this to open people's eyes. And obviously Johnny was wanting to help with that and get involved with that, because obviously they'd helped him out of that situation with the black hats that obviously he didn't want to be in. Right, so yes, it really did move things forward, bringing all this stuff out. As soon as the trial, the Johnny Depp trial, became so well watched, and the UK trial came up, obviously this was a great opportunity for turning people's ideas on their head, for changing people's minds. And I get that was in the past, this was in the present. The white hats, yeah, they kind of jumped on that. We can work with that. We can build this up. We can grow this more. We can bring more of this out, more of this information, along obviously with all the other stuff that's coming out, the medical stuff with the things. There's a lot of that coming out, or at least that's what's been drawn to my attention anyway. So this was in the best course of action. So yeah, the drip feeding it out into the world is a great thing, kind of just bringing it out slowly, moving into calmer waters as more and more people wake up, as more and more people are talking about this. They wanted to emphasise how suppressed the information was, and how few people knew about it. So yes, it really has been helping, and I think that's it. I think I got through all my questions. If I missed one, you can see how many questions I've got. I've got pages of 4 pages. Oh no, 3 pages, or was it 4? I don't even know anymore. I've had such fun today. It's been really nice looking into this. So like I say, please leave a comment if I missed your question, or I got your question wrong, or I didn't quite give you the look into it how you wanted to look into it. Let me know in the comments below. Please let me know if you did like this video, because that always makes me feel better. Please do the YouTube things like subscribe, comment, and I hope you join me in the next video. Thanks for joining me. Bye.